So this is the part of a selfie project we are working on. So we have been producing 10 different images using your selfie, using different filter, different effects, different image adjustment options. So I have 10 of them, 10 JPEG files of my selfie. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 10 different images. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine all these 10 different images into one Photoshop file, and then we're going to make sequential animation, which is going to be saved as an animated GIF file. So animated GIF file is kind of a flipbook, so very primitive techniques of web animation. It doesn't require any plugin file or any player to play on a web browser, so it can be used like the just as the regular JPEG, PNG, or GIF file. So there's some kind of benefits. So let's start. So this is my selfie one. So first let me unlock this layer, and then I want you to open the new window under the Windows menu, and then choose the timeline. And this timeline has the two options: create video timeline or create frame animation. Choose the create frame animation, the second choice, and click on that. Now we need to see three things: your document window, your selfie, first the selfie, timeline, and the layers panel. I'm going to pull my layers panel right next to my document window so I can compare these three windows at a time. Frame number one. So you will need to very carefully take a look the numbers of frames and numbers of layers. Those two things are supposed to be the same, the number. So for now I have a frame number one and I have only one layer, so that's good. So let me create frame number two. In the timeline there's no button to create new frames. The only button we have is to duplicate the selected frames. What it does is once you select this frame, when you click on it, it will just make a copy and paste it. So frame number one and frame number two exactly the same. Now it's about time to select my second images. This is my second selfie project. Select all, Command A, Command C for the copy, and let me go back to my first selfie, and then I made a copy, so you may paste it, Command V. So now I have two frames and two layers, same numbers. The only thing I need to change at this point is on frame number one I need to see layer 0 only, so I need to hide layer 1, the top layer. On frame number 2, opposite, frame number the layer 1 only, so 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So we're gonna repeat these steps, exactly the same steps, until we import 10 different images. So let me just repeat the same step. Frame number 2 and duplicate. Let me select my third selfie images. Select all, copy, back to selfie 1, and paste it. Now 3 frames, 3 layers. Now we need to compare between the timeline and the layers panel. On my timeline frame number 1, I need to hide 2 top layers. On frame number 2, okay, frame number 3, just the top layers only. So 1, 2, and 3. Same thing. Duplicate again for frame number 4. Let me open my selfie number 4. and select all, copy, and paste it. 4 frames, 4 layers. Again, let me double check. Frame number 1, the bottom layer is going to be only visible layer. Everything looks fine. And on frame number 4, only top layer is supposed to be visible. Now next, duplicate again. So this is kind of a routine. Frame number 5, seraphim 5. Let me select all, copy, back to the original, and paste it. And now it's time to compare the timeline and the layers again. Frame number 1, frame number 2, 3, 4 is fine, and number 5, only the top layer. So same way, I will repeat the same steps. Duplicate it. Let me open seraphim number 6, select all, copy, and paste it. Again, frame number 1, only the bottom layer is visible. Frame number 6, layer 5 on top. Okay. Let me repeat the same steps real quick. Seraphim 7, select all, copy, and paste it. From frame number 1 was fine. Frame number 7, the top layer. Repeat the same steps. And seraphim number 8, select all, copy, and paste it. From frame number 1, let's go. Frame number 8. Okay, I have 2 more. Seraphim 9. Oops. Nope, seraphim 9 is here. Select all, copy. My first one. And let me paste it. From number 1. The last one is this. Now I have just one more. Let me duplicate again. And the very last one. Select all, copy, back to the original, and paste it. From frame number 1. Okay, the very last frame is this. Okay, so I have 10 frames in my timeline, and I have 10 layers, the same number. Okay, so I'm going to put my layers back to my original panel so I can save some space. Okay, now from your timelines panel, there's a play button, so you can play it from frame number 1. Play. It's like the MTV style. There is numbers you want to play. Let me check forever, and it will loop like this. So which is okay. It's not very fancy animation, but it is okay. It is simple and easy to make. Let me stop it. There's one more. So maybe for now it's okay. Like it's kind of really fast moving animation, like a flipbook style. Or we also can control the time duration between each frame. The 0 second means there's no delay. If you have maybe 0.5 seconds, we can do this. So it will play a little bit slower. Okay. Or if you select all frames from number 1 to 10 by holding down the shift key, and then just to change your time duration, and then it will apply to every each keyframe. So it's kind of a little slower. Okay, so let me stop. I want to go back to no delay, so 0, meaning very fast. Okay, there's one more thing we can try. Let me highlight the frame number 1 and number 2, and then you may find the option is called tween. Tween is an animation term. This is a real term in any animation program. This is from the word between. So that means what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight frame number 1 and number 2, 2 frames. And then by choosing this tween option, it will generate some more certain numbers of frames between frame number 1 and frame number 2. So we call that tweening, or motion tween, or shape tween. We're going to talk about that later a little more. Okay, so tween. So let's see. Frame number 1, excuse me. Frame number 1 and frame number 2 are activated. Let me choose the tween. So maybe by default your computer may show the frames to add number 5, but number 5 is kind of too many. So let me choose then just number 3, or even number 2 to make it faster. Then what's going to happen is it will generate 2 more frames between 1 and 2, like a transition, like this. Now you can see the little difference, kind of a smooth overlapping, fading in and out thing. I'm going to do the kind of same thing between each frame. So between frame number 4 and 5, tween. Number 2 is okay. Now 7 and 8, tween. 10 and 11, tween 2. 13, 14, tween. And maybe yeah, it's kind of a labor intensive, but one day or someday will be done. Tween. Okay, 19 and 20. I think this is the last one. No, it's not. There are more. Tween. Okay, 22 and 23. Tween. And 25 and 26. This is the last one. And tween. Now let me rewind it and then make sure I'm choosing forever, meaning it's a looping, and let me play it and see what happens. So it is kind of a little bit slower than the first one, but it is smoother than the first one because we apply the tween option between each keyframe. Okay, so let me say I'm done. I'm happy with this. Okay, now in order to save this as animated GIF file, we're gonna need to open what is that? Yeah, no, save for web window. Command Option Shift S. Make sure, even though we have a multiple layers and then some animation using timeline panel, but if you save as a JPEG or a PNG or any other file formats, it will be just a flatten. So make sure you're choosing the GIF as a file format. Okay, so let me save it onto my selfie project folder. Selfie, I would say that underscore final dot GIF, GIF. You have to see that 3 extensions. Okay. Okay, and then let me take a look at this from web browser. Selfie final GIF. I want to open this from the web browser. So selfiefinal.gif. Click on the right click on your keyboard, I mean on your mouse, or hold down the control and click on that image, and then you can define or decide which platform or which application you want to use to open this file. Since I want to test it on my web browser, let me choose just Google Chrome. This is my default web browser. So it is working. Okay. So yeah, that's it. This is the web animated GIF kind of animation file. And let me stop it.